Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Tonight is going to be a short video. I am in the middle of my last of my graduate classes for my certificate to go on top of my MBA, which I already have a master's. This is like a specialization, and you probably won't see me as much as you normally do over the next coming weeks, just because it's just between work and this. And I'm almost ready to send my second book to the publisher, and that's all sorts of fun. So anyway, my topic for tonight: are we witnessing World War III? And is World War III actually not going to be anything like the past wars? So let me explain my hypothesis here. I don't think what we have right now, we have a bunch of hotspots. You got Ukraine and Russia, you got Israel, Hamas, and Iran. You've got Pakistan and India, and you have China and Taiwan, but China has their hands in Pakistan. Russia has their hands in India. You have all these overlapping things going on. And honestly, I think what we are getting right now are previews of what the next large-scale war would look like. Now, right now, there's separate hotspots, right? They kind of got dashed lines between them, but they're not all one conflagration. That could change very quickly. In the event, for instance, China goes after Taiwan, hypothetically, which one of the guests on Sean Ryan actually believes that's going to happen in the next 24 months. This guy's completely convinced of this. But you have that that dynamic, and then say Iran says, well, you know what, since China's attacking Taiwan, we're going to go attack Israel. And then America gets into both of them, and then Russia says, well, hell, you can't do that, you're not allowed, and they jump in. And I could just see it spiraling. So let's look at each conflict separately, just really quickly. So in Russia, you have a very unique situation where you have conventional war, the way we would think of it, like World War II, tanks and soldiers and armies, but they're also engaged in trench warfare, and at the same time engaged in drone warfare. And sometimes the drones can't kill the guy in the trench, and sometimes the guy in the trench can't kill the tank. It's very interesting to see both the very pinnacle of technology in the battlefield and basically the opposite, which would be warfare from the 1800s. And it's really bizarre. Now you look at what happened in Israel, right? Hamas had a very unconventional military force roll across the border. They didn't attack anything strategic. They caused chaos, but they attacked civilians. They specifically went for subdivisions, apartment complexes, and some infrastructure. They didn't capture any major bases. They didn't burn down Tel Aviv. They didn't stop the refineries from working. What they did was create bloodshed and chaos. And it was very similar to what happened in Mumbai, India, when the insurgents attacked the city. But this was on a massive scale. This was on a national scale. It wasn't just 15 or 20 guys. So there you have a combination of a conventional military force fighting an unconventional military force in an open battlefield. Now, of course, Israel did what it normally does, took a sledgehammer and whacked the shit out of Gaza, and now Gaza's in ruins. And you know, they're still going back and forth, but that's kind of gotten resolved. Now you look at India and Pakistan. Here you have two nuclear-armed countries that are very angry at each other for a very long time. Not only have they been having dogfights with their fighter jets, they're having ground combat, but now India's stepping it up by using natural resources as a weapon and basically cutting water off to certain parts of Pakistan, which will cause them economic and military harm. So what do you take from all this? Let's think about it. My take is the future war will be all of the above. It will be large battles going on between navies, between armies, between air forces, in the skies, in the ground. But I also would propose you're going to see infiltration between the East, the West, the various factions getting into each other's countries and causing sabotage. Now, we saw that in World War II, but I think this is going to be some next level stuff. It's going to be the kind of stuff, instead of attacking the rail yard, they're going to blow up Walmart and cause a bunch of chaos, because Walmart's way easier to attack than a refinery. You're also going to see a lot of, how would I say, very fast moving attacks going into the future. You're going to see the kind that Hamas used and who the insurgents used in Mumbai. Imagine that happening. Motorcycle mounted people, or in a car, they drive up to an area, they tear up the area, but they don't stay. They take off, they move. That would be very hard to counteract against. A recent mass shooting, where actually it was about 5 years ago in Texas, the guy had a shootout with the cops because they pulled him over for, he was going back to have a mass shooting at work, and a cop pulled him over for running a red light. Cop had no idea what the guy was planning. They get in a gunfight, guy takes off, but he was mobile. He decided to attack the public. He was going from place to place, attacking civilians. Then he killed a postal worker and stole her van and drove off with it. And now they didn't know what the hell they were looking for. The guy switched vehicles repeatedly. He attacked civilians, he attacked cops. The cops had 3 different vehicle descriptions. They didn't know what they were looking for. They eventually cornered the guy and killed him. But imagine that multiplied by 50 people in Chicago, in New York. These are the kind of things we need to start looking at. Watch the lessons of what's going on. Russia hit water. They hit electricity. Israel did the same to Gaza. They basically flattened Gaza. The Indians are hitting the water, restricting water to Pakistan. You're going to see natural resources being used as a weapon, natural resources being used as a major target. And I think the target spectrum is going to change. It's not going to be about blowing up the World Trade Center or blowing up the Empire State Building. It's going to be about preventing everyone from getting gasoline, preventing the airlines from flying in a coherent way because we're attacking the airports. So folks, when you look at these kind of wars and all these things, I honestly think we're getting a preview for what's to come. How do we prepare? Understand your area, understand your geography. How do you get in and out of town? The main roads, do you have back roads? Are there dirt roads nobody knows about? How do you get to your people, family, friends, whoever? Are there multiple ways to do it? If you can't leave work in your vehicle, do you know how to get home on foot? Are you capable of getting home on foot? If not, do you have stop points between the office and the house? Not all of us are blessed to work close to home. I'm only a few miles away, maybe a 10-minute drive, but on foot, assuming nothing horrendous is happening, it's still going to take me a couple of hours to hoof it back that distance. So do you understand how these things come into play? These are the kind of things that inform us on how we should prepare so that we're not caught off guard, something happens and we're in a panic because we didn't even think about it. Think now, what would I do if Hamas came here? What would I do if China attacked our water supply? All these things go hand in hand with prepping for hurricanes, prepping for tornadoes, but it's a different context as opposed to hurricane, tornado, a flood. This is a human actor. So anyway, something to think about. It's gotten very interesting in the world, but I think we can take a lot of lessons and make some good decisions. And remember, your time, your energy, your space, and your money are all valuable resources for you. So don't waste them. You guys take care.